It's another Behind the Agent podcast coming at you right here, right now. With me, your host, Frank Array, and my new good friend, Adam Schwartz. Adam Schwartz, how you doing, my friend? What's going on,
good,
brother?
Frank. Hey, buddy. Hey, thanks for having me on, man. Excited.
I'm excited, too. I'm going to give you a big fat cheer just for being here. That's the crowd roaring for you,
yeah.
Adam.
Let's go.
And as they should, because let's talk about Adam Schwartz, working with EXP Realty. Been in the business only 5 years, just 5 years, guys. We seem to get a lot of 5-year people on the show, right? That are just destroying it right now, which just blows my mind. 5 years in the business. In the past 12 months, if you go month to month, past 12 months, somewhere around 75, 80 transactions closed, but steady 80, about 60 transactions a year for only 5 years in the business. Absolutely freaking insane. You're out there in Redding, California, up in that neck of the woods, Shasta County, Red Bluff, that area. That's the areas you serve. And little toasty up there these days, huh? A little warm.
It's a little toasty. 120 last week, so
120 degrees. People still buy houses in 120 degrees.
Hey, we're out showing. I keep the AC on the car on. Just stay cool when you're in the car. It's good.
People got to live somewhere, baby. That's the way it is.
Somewhere. Houses with pools are real hot right now.
Yeah. Yeah, let's dive into this. And by the way, I just got to make note of the volume that you're doing is because, if you think about Redding, Shasta County, the Red Bluff area, these aren't super heavily populated areas. They're right. They're not that
correct.
dense,
so compared
right?
to SoCal, we're very small. People don't even know we exist. Like they say Northern California, like Sacramento. I said no, like 2 hours north of that. They're like, what's 2 hours north of Sacramento? I said Redding.
Like, what is that? Yeah, but my point is to be able to knock out the type of business you're knocking out in these areas is, brother, congratulations, man.
Thank
give
you.
you another cheer. I'm going to give you a ka-ching too, because it's remarkable. Yeah, it's remarkable. So let's get into it, bro. What were you thinking? Why did you decide to be a realtor?
Well, I bought my first house, kept it for a year or two, and then I wanted to get a second house turned into a rental. So I did that. And at the time I was working in the restaurant industry, serving tables, waiting. But I always had a really good work ethic. I was the type of server that when I was on the floor, I wanted all the tables. I always wanted more. I felt like the better service, the more clients, the more money you would make. And I always wanted to give really good service, but I always wanted to make more money. And there was just a cap in the restaurant industry.
Sure.
There's only so much you can make.
You can only go so high. Yeah, the rest.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So my buddy, that's the mortgage lender that did my couple loans. I talked to him about getting in the industry. We talked a little bit about doing mortgages, and I'm not a computer guy. I don't like being in an office behind a desk all day. And so what about, being a realtor? And I said, I don't know. Now, I didn't tell you this, but I got in some trouble out of high school, and I had, everybody's got to pass, but I started looking into getting my license, and took me 3 months to do the schooling. Got the schooling done, went down, took the test, passed it, and they gave me a little paper that said, "Hey, we're reviewing your background." And it took me 18 months to clear my license for them.
No kidding. Wow.
So it wasn't an easy road, man. It was a
grind. 18 months, you're already ready to do your renewals or whatever.
Yeah. I had to get.
Oh, and by the way, you owe us more tests. Yeah.
More tests, appeals, attorneys. There was a few hoops to jump through, but super grateful.
Wow. You did it. Yeah.
Went through it. So
excellent, man. Excellent. Yeah. So it was just, you decided I needed to do something more. I don't want a ceiling, an income ceiling. I wanted to try something. You got a loan buddy. And he's like, try this, man. You're like, okay, let's give it a try. Right.
I wanted to get into doing flips. Honestly, that was the thing. I wanted to do some flips. A house came up down the road that was like super cheap back then. It was like 2016 or something. And it was like, 120,000. And I'm like, dude, like, I want to buy this. And I went and talked to him again after I bought my second house. He's like, you don't make enough money. It needs way too much work. Like, you're not in a place to do it. And I said, well, I want to get in a place. And that's what kind of got the ball rolling.
Very self-motivated here. Yeah. Just, and what's the word I'm looking for? Self-serving, right? You wanted to get into the business to actually eat the business, participate in the business, right? Of
Exactly.
buying and
Yeah.
flipping and doing that stuff. All right. So you get in, you're at EXP now. You've been in the biz 5 years. Did you go straight to EXP and then that's where you're at now?
No, nope. EXP for the last 4 years though. My first just under a year, I was with a local brokerage with it was a partnership. It was three guys. They all crushed it. They were all doing 60 to 100 deals a year and just
Wow.
monsters in our market.
Wow.
And that's who the lender, that got me in the business said, hey, go learn from these guys. It'll be a crash course, but you'll get deals and you'll learn how to crush it. So I went with them, and you know what they say, the only ship that never sails is a partnership. So 8 months into that, they all split up, and one of the guys went to EXP. So that's how I went to EXP with him, and
Okay.
been on my own for about the last 2.5 years.
Okay. All right. Good enough. Good enough. All right. So let's keep moving along. Good to know. That's how you got into the biz. Here you are, successful today in a very short order. So I like to ask this before we get into where are these deals coming from. I always love to ask your first honest to God deal that wasn't mom, not your cousin, right? Just the one that you harvested, extracted out of the marketplace. Do you remember how you got it?
I do. So we were big internet leads. The guys I was learning from, they pay a lot for, Facebook leads and internet leads and that kind of stuff. And it was one of the guys would run an ad on Facebook for foreclosures, get a list of foreclosures, and he'd literally hand me a paper with names and phone numbers, and I'd call him and got talking to the gal, and she was already pre-approved and started showing her some houses and sold her a house. And but what's crazy is I actually got like three all at the same time. So I got her going. Then I had a friend of not a family friend, but someone I knew in the community that was looking at buying a house. They knew I was getting my license. They reached out, and then I had one other one that came up all around the same time. So I actually went from nothing to three like in 2 weeks. So
Nice. Yeah, nice. It just goes to show you too. So these are leads that came off of internet marketing, that kind of a thing, looking for foreclosure. You didn't sell her a foreclosure, did you?
no.
Yeah. So looking, sure, give me a list of foreclosures. Next thing you know, you've got a name and a number. You're having a conversation. You close the deal. I mean, that's pretty cool. Real quickly before we move on to where the deal's coming from today, they were internet driven, lead
Correct.
purchasing driven. You got that deal, and then you got a couple other successive deals. You stuck with them for a little while? Did you convert more of those bot lead deals on your end?
Yeah, so I would say my first 2 to 2.5 years in the business was mainly internet,
Internet leads?
Zillow,
Okay.
all paid leads. There was some referrals, some word of mouth, someone, would buy a house and send their cousin or something like
Yeah.
that. But I'd say the first 2 years was a grind of
So like
internet.
about half your
Yeah,
career was working the online leads.
correct.
Um, how'd your conversion of those go? Pretty good. What would you say the conversion rate was? 1 out of 20, 1 out of 50? What
Well, so your Facebook internet leads are 1 in 100,
1 in 100?
realistically.
Yeah,
Like
really bad.
you're really dialing. Zillow, though, before they switched their platform to where now they're a referral company as well, before
Yeah.
you would just pay and get a zip code, and
Yeah,
the
yeah.
more you paid, the more leads you got. And so Zillow, for the first year and a half I was in, was actually very profitable for me.
Nice.
Because I would go to Red Bluff, which is a little south of here. It wasn't saturated with agents, and I'd close 20 deals. I was closing 20, 25 deals a year, paying $3,000 a month
No.
out of the Red Bluff market. You know what I mean? So
No.
it was very profitable. But as soon as they switched their model and became a brokerage and gave
Right.
you referral fees, they picked specific agents and teams to work with, and then you kind of got the leftovers. So that's
Yeah,
when I got
yeah, you kind of get. Yeah, okay. Well, that's cool, man. That's good to know. Yeah. So yeah, those leads panned out pretty good. I remember. Yeah,
Mhm.
they're a
Yeah,
little bit better. Yeah, but a lot of people mock the Zillow leads, but the truth is, man, a lot of companies, a lot of people make a lot of money off of Zillow leads. I mean,
yeah,
there's no doubt about that. Okay. Do you still buy, just curious, do you still buy Zillow leads today?
I don't.
You don't. Okay.
I
So
know.
here we are,
I
only
got a
5 years in the
Zillow. I got
business.
out of Zillow about a year and a half ago. I got out, and then it slowed down when interest rates got high, and I scared and I panicked, and I bought back in for about 6 months and had very little return. And I said, "This is bull." You know what I mean? I'm
Yeah, yeah.
I'm out of here. And so
Yeah.
I quit. I haven't paid for a Zillow lead since, gosh, probably over a year.
Okay. All right. Good to know. All right. Well, let's get to today. So let's get to today. A little different picture, not paying for Zillow leads. still cranking, doing a lot of business. Where's it coming from for you? This is, come on, guys, think about this, guys. The past 12 months, between, I think we were looking at it in this like 75, 80 deals, something like that in the past 12 months. So, because you got a couple of summers in that 12-month, right?
Correct.
So yeah.
Yep.
So you got some hot month, so the past 12 months is better than, like 2023 or something. But it's a lot of business. It's a lot of business to get in the door for someone who's only been doing it for 5 years. We're not doing Zillow leads. Kind of look at it, kind of lay it out for me like this, Adam, like, hey, it's, 60% referral, 30% my website or whatever in your mind. If you kind of got that sort of,
So I break it down. I have past clients, past client referrals, current client referrals, like realtors from other markets that send me a referral, builders, or just business people in the community. So I kind of categorize it by that. So I'd say most of it is all referral business. So there's very little ads. I do get sign calls and convert some sign calls and stuff like that. And I do a little bit when I have like a new listing that comes up, I'll post it on Facebook and do a little bit of boosting and get some leads from there. So I get maybe 10% from the sign calls, Facebook stuff. Probably 25% is like past clients now listing and buying something else. And then past client referrals is probably another 25%. And then the others is it's just business owners or people in the community or a few of the lenders.
You said builders.
Yeah.
Tell me about that. What do you mean?
So there's not a lot of builders in Reading, but there's a couple. And so you try to build those relationships and see what you can do and see if, you got to grease some palm. No, I'm just kidding. But, you try to work those relationships to get to where
contingent deals.
They want to list with you when they start a subdivision or when they start this.
Oh, I see. Where you can actually sell the homes.
Correct.
So are these like mid-sized builders, something like that?
There's been so we have some small ones like D.R. Horton's been up here for the last couple of years. I tried getting in with them a couple of times. They're already there. They already had some people they were working with.
They're very corporate. Yeah.
Yes. Very corporate. So, but little stuff here and there with the builders. Not a ton of builder business, but that is something I'm always working on. Like that's what I call a channel account or a whale account.
Yeah.
Once you build that relationship, if you can get 3, 4, 5 deals a year, just consistent, it's.
Why not?
Yeah, why not?
Why not? So now what I'm hearing though now is it's just kind of coming to you now. Okay, you said past client referrals and current client referrals.
Correct.
Tell me about current client referrals.
So my whole setup, whether it's with a buyer or a seller, is I always have a consultation with them up front and I explain to them the value proposition of working with myself and my team. I have a small team. And part of that is if you want the white glove service, the 5-star service, the service that you deserve, I can't be out chasing internet leads and door knocking and doing all this stuff. So my number one goal is to get you the best deal on the house. That's my number one goal. Get you across the finish line. Your number one job is to replace yourself. So by the time we're done with this, in order for me to give you the service and get you the deal you want, I need you to help me find someone like you. You're an awesome person. You do amazing. You're a hard worker. You have a great attitude. And I want to work with people like you. So I need you to help me find someone like you. That way I can focus on you and then them when we're done. And I'm not out door knocking and calling 100 leads on Facebook to get one contact, so.
Works pretty good.
It's a work in progress. I've got, what is it, Tuesday? I've gotten 4 warm leads so far this week.
From people that you're working with?
Yeah.
Dude, it's brilliant. I'm part of the Mortgage Marketing Animals. I actually host the Loan Officer Breakfast Club, and this is exactly what we teach to the loan originators, which exact same active transactions. With an active transaction, you've got people that are in the middle of buying or selling a house, and you know what they're doing? They're talking to everybody they know about it. They're like, buying a house, I'm buying a house, buying a house, buying a house.
Yeah.
And then these conversations are starting. Really? Where at? How much? Blah, 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 blah. Inevitably, they typically will come across somebody who might be thinking the same thing. And if you're in their head, which you are, which impresses me for a 5-year guy, right? I guess I'm so impressed with your 5 years because I've been doing this for 37, brother. You know what I mean? So when I see a young
OG, you're an
whippersnapper
OG.
like at 5 years knocking out 80 deals in a year, and then I learned, well, it's because I'm asking people in an active transaction. One of the ways that I get my business, I'm in an active transaction. I'm saying, hey, I need to talk to other people. Like if you know somebody, if you come across somebody, I would like to be connected to them. It's the best time to ask for the deal because they're talking to everybody. They know about the dang deal right now, and that's when they're going to come across somebody. So kudos to you. I'm gonna give you a
Yeah.
ka-ching. That's a ka-ching for sure. All right, so current clients, so that's great, and I think that alone, I think, brother, was worth the price of admission to the other agents that are going to be watching this today. Talk to the people, your current people,
Yeah.
good stuff.
And there's
So
timing too. There's timing with that. So offer gets accepted. That's a win. Hey, just remember, tell people you get through negotiations, you get a big credit, you get something big fixed at closing. Like those are all big wins in the client's mind. They're winning. That's when you want to remind them, hey, and I talk about the reticular activator. I'm sure you've heard of that. You buy
100%,
a
we
new
use
car.
it. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. You buy a new car, you see that car everywhere. Same thing with buying a house. When you're gonna hear it everywhere. I just ask that you remember me because I'm taking great care of you. So you want to make sure they get taken great care of. There's over 800 agents in Shasta County. Most of them do 1 to 0 deals a year,
Yeah.
and so I just kind of run with it like that. Anyway, go ahead.
No, that was good. You even brought up the reticular activator, man. And for those guys that you aren't listening, if you didn't catch what Adam said, that's that thing where it's like you buy a brand new Subaru, then as soon as you leave the lot, you realize there's like 8 million Subarus out here. You know what I mean? Because you're in the
Yeah,
Subaru. Same
yeah.
thing. They're buying a house, they're talking to everybody they know, and then suddenly they come across these people. It's the best time to ask for business. That is awesome, brother. Good stuff. So past client referrals and repeat past clients, and then past client referrals.
Correct.
And I think a lot of people can put do that math and how that works. But what I would like to know is if you're getting repeat past client business and past client referrals, what is your outreach or your connectivity to your past client database? Like, is it a snail mailer? Is it phone calls? Is it email blast? Or is it all of it? Or what do you do?
All of it.
All of
All
it?
of it. So I do a letter every other month to all the past clients. Call it the letter of the heart. Those that are in coaching probably know a little bit about that, but it's
Yep.
not anything business related. It's just talking about myself, what I'm going through. Like I had a lot of personal struggles this
Is this
last
the
year, a lot of big,
core? Is this core?
yep, the core.
Okay.
Yep,
Yeah.
the
Mhm.
core. Yep. So I've been in the core for 2.5 years now. And I love it. And anyone that's not in coaching, whether it's the core or whatever, I really encourage coaching. Especially, I like accountability. I like someone that's further down the road than me, teaching me how to do it a little bit better, tweaking
Yeah.
systems, just getting it. But anyway, so I do snail mail. So I do a letter of the heart or like a postcard, like these are the deals we've closed. This is, we got through this hurdle or whatever it was. So I try to mail to them every month or every other month. I have them all on the like an email where I do a market update every month. And so I do a video. And then most of them I try to get to follow on my social, my Instagram and my Facebook, and I do stuff on there pretty regularly. So I try to stay in front of them. And then I call also. So I have a list, a spreadsheet for every month of the year. And I have all the closings for that month, all the birthdays and all the anniversaries. And so every month I have a list of 20 to 30 reasons to call these people. We close it, hey, it's been 3 years, or happy birthday, or happy anniversary, or I send them birthday cards or anniversary cards. And so I try to stay in front of them because I that's so much cheaper and easier business than chasing expireds or internet or all this other stuff. It's literally very cost effective to just work your database and stay in front of them. And they already like you most of the time because they worked with you. So why
Right.
not stay in front of them?
Yeah. 99% of them like you.
Yeah.
Right. There's always
Couple
somebody
deals
that's,
that go
you know,
sideways,
yeah,
or you forgot
they're
to put the
sour.
box and it costs
Yeah. Or
them
whatever. Yeah.
nothing.
But so interestingly though, because you said, so between your past client repeat business and your past clients referring you business, that's 50% or more of your current book of business. So yeah. And then you also said community, and I wrote that down, but I'm not sure what you meant by that.
So I'm pretty active in like Chamber of Commerce.
Okay.
And so I'm always going after business owners, commercial property owners, just people in town that have employees and need that want to invest in real estate, that want that
Hmm.
that need to invest their money, that need write-offs, that want something bigger, you know, because a lot of the times we chase internet buyers when if we're going to chase somebody, why not chase someone that's big?
Yeah, and why not chase a business owner that has employees? The employees might want to maybe you can do a home buyer
Exactly.
presentation or something,
Yep.
and then they're people. You're actually talking to them who get to
Mhm.
know, like, and trust you right away. Great stuff, bro.
Probate
Killer.
attorneys are a good one.
Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, replace yourself. That's what you said. Replace yourself. God, I got to write that down so I don't mess that up in the
Yeah.
description of this cool podcast. Dude, killer stuff. Adam, you're killing it, brother. I love it. The things that you're doing are excellent sales things. You're part of the core, which is very similar to the mortgage marketing animals on the mortgage side. They're very, very similarly structured theme days,
Yep.
that type of thing, asking for the business, asking for referrals during the transaction. Very, very past client, all very, very similar. So that's really neat to see. And I've seen other agents as well that are part of that coaching program that just really do very well. So congratulations for that. Really cool. All right. So let's get to the end here. Let's wrap this thing up. This has been great already, but this is the fun part. A real estate agent friend of mine, their team, Jessica Mraz and Candace Zavala, they work as a team, and they like to call this the real side of real estate. So the real side of real estate is, let's get real, brother. Like, I always like to say that, people who look at real estate agents on the outside, maybe, consumers, whatever, and they see their marketing and they see their headshots and their logos and their cool flyers, and they it looks so glamorous and so exciting and so elegant and just so amazing, but that ain't how it always is.
That's normally how it isn't.
Yeah. Give us a story, man. Something we might be able to learn from, but something that's happened to you, like, wow, didn't see that coming.
Yeah, probably the craziest story was I had a probate sale. This is during COVID, so a couple of years ago, and it was I had the listing probate, had the seller, house kind of out in the woods on some property. Ended up, a buyer came to me directly, said, "Hey, I want to buy this," and so we get into escrow, we do inspections. You know, there's some stuff that needs to get done, whatever. We work through that. Buyers come up, the seller signs, the buyer signs, the buyer wires the money. The seller wasn't really happy though. It was like her mom's property. Anyway, kind of just a weird scenario. The buyer's already wired the money. They signed. We're recording the next day. I get a call at 7 in the morning from the neighbor saying, "Hey, the house burned down."
What?
Yeah. Yep. So house burned down. We don't know what it was, but it was a little suspicious, kind of how the whole thing went down. We were supposed to close, but then we didn't close, and then there was, it was just the whole thing was kind of crazy. But anyway, that was one of those ones where it's like I mean, we thought we were closed, and it didn't close. We
It
missed the
didn't
cutoff on the
record.
wire. Didn't record, missed the cutoff for the
So
wire.
so didn't record. So the buyer didn't buy
Didn't
a
lose.
burnt down house.
Nope. Nope. And it was a
So
cash deal, so they wouldn't have had it. They didn't have insurance in place either.
ooh,
So buyers got lucky.
ooh, everybody got lucky in that one except for the
Yeah.
seller, of course,
Except for the
but wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I got one more. You got time for one more?
All right, give me one more. But first on
Yeah,
that
one
one,
more.
moral of that story would I don't know if there's anything
Final
you
walkthrough.
could have.
No.
Yeah, I don't know what you could have done in that scenario, but hey, well, here would be cash buyer. Make sure he has insurance no matter what, because you don't know what's going to happen. All right, go
Yep.
for it. What you got? Another one? Give me another one.
Another one. COVID. Just the start of COVID. Craziness. Everyone's freaking out, but the rates are dropping and things are getting good. It's a foreclosure. So I get this at home in escrow for a client of mine. Um, we do inspections, like it's fine, like it needs work, it's a foreclosure, but like there's some stuff, like it has a deck, there's some missing railings, there's a staircase and there's some missing railings. And so, with foreclosures, the bank doesn't let you do any work on
Yeah,
it, right? And so we get to the end, they needed an appraisal because it was getting a loan. Appraiser goes out, they call out the missing railings. Okay,
safety.
just the banisters, right? And so
Right.
I call the asset manager and I'm like, "Hey, like they won't let it close. It's a safety concern." A lot of times you can do like an escrow holdback and push it
Sure.
and get it worked done, but they wouldn't let these railings, they wouldn't let it go. And so I'm like, let's just say like someone happens to like put some railings in,
What if?
miraculously, like, and the appraiser signs off on it. Like, is that going to be a big deal? And so the appraiser says the asset manager said, Adam, we can't do any work on the property. That's not what we allowed. But if, it's able to close next week because those got done, like, I mean, it closes,
Yeah.
whatever, just kind of like it is what it is.
Yeah.
And so they get fixed miraculously.
Yeah.
And then it just so happens that whoever was fixing them also decided to start doing other work on the house.
What?
And they didn't know that the listing agent has to go back out and do a final walkthrough for the bank. And he goes out there and he sees this guy working on the house and says it's a federal offense and he's got to call the cops and he's going to call, the asset manager. And he calls me and says, hey, these guys are at the property and this is your license. Like, you can't approve this. Like, this whole big deal, right?
Oh, wow.
And we had done an extension. So I called him back. I said, hey, that was the handyman. He was told that we were supposed to close last week. He was just going out there getting started. He said, that sounds about right. I'm going to tell asset manager, the handyman just went out there. He didn't know that we did an extension. We haven't closed yet. And so it was like, got everything signed, closed the next day. The asset manager called me after we closed. He said, hey, so it sounds like someone was working out there. I was like, yeah, man, he didn't realize we closed. He's like, oh, okay, no problems. Just so you know, they can't do that. Have a good one. We're closed now.
Yeah.
But man, it scared me so bad. Like, I thought they were losing the house. I thought my license. I was like, oh my gosh. That was a fun one. So. But they bought the house for $220. Today it's worth $450.
Good job, man. Good job. Get the good thing for that one too, for sure, man. Well, dude, those are great stories, man. And congratulations on all your success. And you're doing all the right things, and that's why such a short time in the business. You're a little young whippersnapper, just kicking butt. I love it. If you are EXP, you got a little team up there in the Reading area. If for the sake of if somebody wanted to touch base with you, hey, might want to be on your team, right? To learn kind of how you do business, that kind of a thing. Or if somebody just needs to refer somebody your way, right? Who's not in that area, but's got somebody going there or leaving there, whatever the case may be. Best way to get to you is the phone number. Is that?
Yeah, phone number, or if you want, I can give you my email too, if you want that. And then
I'll put them both in the YouTube description. Okay, so, perfect. And the phone number, just so if you're listening, you can't, for you guys, it's 530-921 6083, right?
Correct.
Okay, 530-921 6083, and we'll put the email in the description down below as well, so you can get a hold of Adam Schwartz. Thank you, my friend.
Thanks, Frank.
Super
you
cool.
Killed it. Great job. I love it. That was awesome.
It was. You were awesome, man. You're a great interview. Good stuff too. Successful. I love it, man. You're kicking butt. It's good to see. All right, brother. Hey, don't go anywhere, right? Because I'm going to give you a gift. I'm going to give you a gift, but don't go anywhere. But we're going to say goodbye to everybody else, and then you stick around, okay? Don't go anywhere. So for the rest of you, thanks for joining us on the Behind the Agent podcast. Subscribe, of course, forward, share, all that kind of fun stuff. Hey, if you're an agent and you're kicking butt and you'd like to be on the podcast, let me know, right? My contact information is down below in the description. With that, we'll catch you guys later here on the Behind the Agent podcast. We'll see you.